Miami is thin along the front line. Bam Adebayo is an all-NBA level player at the 4 or 5, but is asked to play more 4 over the course of the regular season to avoid some of the wear and tear of going against bigger centers nightly. The Heat's center rotation beyond Adebayo is promising sophomore Kel'el Ware and two-way player Vlad Golden. Miami will play Nikola Jovic and Keshad Johnson this season, but both are 4s, not 5s. That has the Heat reaching out to a former Miami player, Precious Achiuwa, reports Ira Winderman at the South Florida Sun-Sentinel. Achiuwa and guard Goran Dragic were dealt to the Toronto Raptors in the 2021 offseason in the deal that brought in guard Kyle Lowry. Achiuwa since moved on to the New York Knicks, who opted to allow him to move on as a free agent this offseason. Achiuwa was a solid rotation big for the Knicks last season, averaging 6.6 points and 5.6 rebounds a game, while shooting 50.2% from the floor. He played more early in the season, but when Mitchell Robinson got healthy, it was Achiuwa whose minutes went to the elite defender. The Heat have also been in contact with another former player of theirs, center Thomas Bryant, who played last season for Indiana but now remains a free agent. While Miami has a roster spot, they are just $1.8 million below the luxury tax line, not enough to sign a player to a veteran minimum contract, and don't want to cross that threshold for this roster. That means if the Heat are going to sign Achiuwa, Bryant, or anyone else, they need to make a roster move. Winderman suggests that the team could buy out the contract of guard Terry Rozier, whom they spent the summer trying to trade. His contract is guaranteed for $24.9 million of the $26.6 million he is owed. The Heat are not under a time crunch to make that move. They can waive Rozier up to January 10th. It just depends on how much they like Achiuwa and how much they want him, or another player, on the roster to start the season. Andrew Wiggins' trade suitors are not hard to find. The Miami Heat will invariably disappoint all of them by making it clear he's not someone they'll move in a salary dump. This is different from declaring him untouchable. Wiggins is not that. But there already appears to be a disconnect between what he's worth and what Miami would accept to deal him. Take the latest rumblings from NBA insider Mark Stein over at the Stein Line. He says that the Los Angeles Lakers would have interest if the Heat, in coming weeks or months, decide to prioritize financial flexibility and look to reduce payroll. This is an LMFAO moment for the Heat and their fans. Los Angeles' interest is framed as if it's prepared to do Miami a favor. Wiggins is not someone you unload to save money. Never mind that wings who make threes and can cover around 3 positions are typically considered assets. Wiggins' contract is not a roadblock to the Heat's flexibility. The Heat don't need to trade Andrew Wiggins for cap space. Yes, the 11-year veteran's salary may be a tad inflated relative to what he provides. Almost everything about his game is subject to inconsistency, right down to his rebounding. You'd like more certainty, at both ends, for someone earning just over $28.2 million. Still, even if the Heat aren't sold on Wiggins as a contributor, his contract could come off the books after the season. He holds a $30.2 million player option for 2026 to 27. While teams on the open market probably won't match or exceed this price point, he could sign a deal worth less per year that guarantees him more total money over the longer term. In the event Wiggins does opt out, Miami's financial flexibility will take care of itself. With both him and Terry Rozier's expiring deal wiping off the ledger, the Heat would have a clear path to over $30 million in space. Sure, flipping Wiggins to the Lakers or another team in exchange for expiring contracts can take the guesswork out of the equation. This presumes Miami wants to create cap space next summer. We can't be sure that's the case. Cap space is overrated. If anything, the Heat seem less concerned about financial flexibility in 2026 and are more intent on carving out space for the 2027 offseason. Wiggins' contract isn't a potential obstacle when following this timeline. Tyler Herro extension negotiations are the bigger sticking point. Even that may overstate the importance of Miami's flexibility. Wiggins may have more value to the superstar pursuit as a salary matching tool. Stars are not changing teams via free agency anymore. Cap space can be used for more than signings, but when's the last time you saw a cornerstone get shipped out for a package built entirely around financial savings? Stockpiling picks, prospects, and movable salaries is more important for the Heat. They are actual trade assets and more likely to help the front office acquire a superstar than cap flexibility. Jettisoning Wiggins can work in service of that vision. If the Lakers start dangling first-round picks, Miami has an obligation to listen. But if Los Angeles and other potential suitors are expecting the Heat to offload their best 3&D wing for cap space they don't need, well, they're in for a rude awakening. The Miami Heat are interested in bringing in a New York free agent power forward/center to fill out their roster as the 2025 offseason winds down, according to a recent report. After shipping out embattled six-time All-Star forward Jimmy Butler in a blockbuster trade deadline deal, the Heat have had a fairly quiet summer. Miami's biggest move was its decision to trade for former LA Clippers combo guard Norman Powell. The Heat also brought in forward Simone Fontecchio as part of a sign-and-trade deal with the Detroit Pistons, sending out departing ex-Heat free sharpshooter Duncan Robinson in the offing. Point guard Terry Rozier, who has only a partial guarantee on his contract for 2025-26, remains under federal investigation for suspicious gambling activity, per ESPN's David Purdom. Now, the Heat are considering a reunion with a free agent former big man, according to Ira Winderman of the South Florida Sun-Sentinel and Barry Jackson of the Miami Herald. Jackson notes that Miami has contemplated waiving Rozier now, but is also looking at scenarios in which the team could use his expiring $26.6 million contract as trade fodder down the line this season. Per Winderman and Jackson, the Heat have been in touch with former New York Knicks power forward/center Precious Achiuwa about joining the team via its open 15th roster spot. Heat knows it probably needs to add a veteran big, with Precious Achiuwa among those contacted, along with Kai Jones, etc., Jackson writes. Team has discussed two options. One, cutting Rozier and paying him $24.9 million of his $26.6 million to go away, to add a big immediately while staying under tax. Or two, wait until December, when they can sign a vet without surpassing tax. Jackson later posted a bit of an addendum about Achiuwa. Jackson noted that Miami has not made an offer but indicated an interest if they are in a position to make an offer down the road. They're staying under tax at this time. Achiuwa, who has a place in South Florida, would welcome Heat return. Several other teams have inquired. Heat and Achiuwa's camp will remain in touch. The 6'8" Memphis product, who was selected by Miami with a number 20 pick in 2020, appeared in 57 games for New York last regular season, averaging 6.6 points on 50.2% field goal shooting and 59.4% free throw shooting, plus 5.6 rebounds in 20.4 minutes per. Then head coach Tom Thibodeau squeezed Achiuwa out of his postseason rotation, and he averaged just 4.3 mop-up minutes in 8 contests through the Knicks' run to the Eastern Conference Finals.